I can't charge that much. I just want to help everyone. Hello, you beautiful human you. I hope you've had an amazing week. Let's jump right in. What are we chatting about today? Something I hear often with the people that I work with in my school communities and my business coaching and my one-on-one clients, especially those that work in the mindset or esoteric or self-improvement niches, money mindset. So we know that we all want to be in an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset. And still, a lot of folks that I work with talk about, I can't charge that much. I just want to help everyone. I feel gross when I'm asking for money in exchange for my offering or my coaching, or I need to only charge this amount of money because that's what my nervous system feels safe with. But then also what happens is those same people come and ask questions about why they're getting people that aren't taking action, that aren't committing to the process, or folks that just want to come and complain and they don't actually do the work. And then there's the issue around, I love what I do, but I'm not making enough money to make ends meet. Or I can only do this as a side hustle. I can't do this as a full-time gig because I need my full-time job to pay my bills. It can even come out sort of ass backwards, where you see other people charging certain amounts of money, and regardless of whether they do what they promise or they do a good job, your brain, your nervous system automatically goes to, but they shouldn't be spending their money on this. They should be doing this with their money. They're just scamming people. Or it can manifest this way as well, where you have an inner dialogue. You have thoughts about how, not just that you see other people spending money that you think that they shouldn't be spending their money that way, if they're a healer, health coach, esoteric guru, or self-improvement coach, or mindset worker, but the whole inner dialogue that happens where it's like, I would love to go travel to see the world more. I would love to be able to give more of my money to people changing the world the way that I love to see them change the world. I would love to be able to donate to this cause, or support this mission. I would love to be able to live on land and not live in the city. Then you have another voice in your head that kind of comes and lays on a guilt trip. Why do you want that? That's not important. It's more important to help as many people as possible, and limiting the amount of money that you make so that you can help more people is more beneficial to your inner growth or your spiritual journey, or however that wording may happen in your brain. Do any of those things resonate with you? I know they did with me for a long time, but I had to learn the hard way. So now I'm here telling you to let it rattle around in your brain and to get curious and figure out if that's actually what your soul is calling you to do. If this path that you're on is the best one for you. Because money isn't evil. Charging people money for your experience, your help, and your time is not evil. Money's just a tool. It's an energetic tool. It's neutral. We as humans, we're the ones that assign and decide whether it's good or bad, or all of these feelings and emotions and thoughts attached to it. So like we talked about last week, it's time to get curious. Ask yourself, where is this thought pattern? Where is this mindset? Where is this money thing coming from? Whether it's childhood or societal things or upbringing or past business adventures or the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And oftentimes, the people that you're surrounding yourself with that are feeding you that sort of thing are not really where you want to be in the long run anyway. So it may be, that's another thing to allow your brain to rattle around upon, is if the folks that you're surrounding yourself with are not folks that you aspire to be, or don't have qualities and live their life in a way that you are interested in, it may be time to find a couple of new friends. A couple of new folks that understand that money is just a tool. It's not the root of all evil. It's not anything other than an energy exchange. And then see what happens. See how your life evolves. See how things change. Oftentimes when we find somebody else that is living similarly to how we want to, in more aspects than just they're helping everyone, but they can't afford to pay their bills, or they have dreams of donating money to this or that, or supporting people in a way that they currently can't. You have to get the whole picture and not just one piece of the puzzle, because who we surround ourselves with affects directly who we are and who we choose to be and how we show up. And it also gives us permission slips oftentimes to explore things that we never would have if they weren't in our sphere of influence. So once you get through those 2 questions, and once you figure out if you need to find a few new folks to hang around with, then it may be time to dip your toes in. It may be time to say, you know what, when something comes up and says, you know, you shouldn't want that, or you need to help everyone. Because like we talked about in another video, if you try to broaden your message and try to reach everyone, oftentimes your message never lands with anyone. And so you actually help less people than if you would narrow down your focus and your messaging to speak to the one ideal client with the one offer, so that they believe and they feel like you are in their head, and they go, damn, how are they in my head? They know exactly what I'm walking through, trying to do this on my own. And they know where I want to be. Not in the like esoterical, like mindset, non-tangible manner, but they know why I want that mindset work. Like what I want the mindset work so that I can make more money. I can live where I want. I can land a better romantic relationship. I can have less physical pain, or I can have more physical beauty. The mindset and the self-improvement and a lot of the spiritual esoteric things are tools. Because they're not tangible, folks have a hard time wrapping their mind around why they should pay for them or why they should join a space, because a lot of society and our own inner being lead us to believe that we should be able to do it on our own. But if you focus more on the outcome of the mindset work, then their brains start going, oh, that's what I want. And so then they join in. But if you're trying to reach the 20-year-old who's just getting started in life, and the 65-year-old who just wants to get on the ground to play with their grandkids, and the 30-something stay-at-home mom that's hiding in the closet having a bite of chocolate for a 2-second break, all of those different types of people use different language, different words, they think differently, they have different desired outcomes. And so when you're trying to reach them all, you water down your message and you end up not landing well with any of them. So that was a small neurospicy tangent as an example for why it's important to actually narrow down who you want to serve and why. So it's another shorter version this week, and it sounds super easy. It sounds that homework of getting curious and asking yourself those 2 questions, if this is something you struggle with, or if when you get quiet you realize that this is something that resonates. However, it's typically a little more in-depth than you would think at face value. So I didn't want to make this one too long. So get curious, ask yourself the questions, and figure out how you can start rewiring your pathways and start choosing differently, reminding yourself of the truth when your brain tries to bring those same old thought patterns back up. And if you need a space to dip your toes in and be surrounded with other neurospicy business owners that are also walking through a lot of the similar stuff and yet still making forward moving improvements, check out the description below and join Inspire Action. And yes, we talk about business and money and making more money, but we also talk about the moon and the cycles. We talk about human design. We talk about all sorts of various things, and we share wins, and we do shit share posts where everybody chimes in about what's not quite going right so that we can support each other, because building a business and doing life, it's not all unicorn farts and rainbows all the time, and it's important to have a space that isn't just an echo chamber, and it's not just whitewashed with positivity, because life's not like that. Sometimes shit's hard, and that's okay. It's about what we choose to do with it, and if we can lean in and learn and then move forward, it's not a waste. So yeah, check out the description. If you enjoyed this and want to tune in for more, click the follow button. And I hope you have a freaking amazing week, and we will see you next week.